Hello my loves and welcome to the Craft Room Book Nook. This is the cover and without further ado, this is the reveal of the actual Nook illuminated. We've got all sorts of Craft Room goodness going on in these layers here, and this is a little different to my usual Book Nook because usually if you've made one of these Book Nooks before, you'll know that I use these battery lights available from Amazon and other retailers that fit neatly into a little pocket there, and they get threaded through and taped to the back of these panels. This one I'm using something a little differently, and that's why you can hear things rattling around. I decided to try these beautiful little lights. Now, I've seen balloon lights before where you pull the little tab out, they're illuminated, you stick them in your balloons or craft product, and once they're gone, which is a terrible waste. These you can turn on and off, and you can also replace the batteries. They're still relatively inexpensive. I got these from Amazon, similar ones are available, but it's the fact that you can turn them on and off is the thing. And this lovely illuminated scene here uses just 3 of these little lights. And as with all of my Book Nooks, let's get these things out if I can. There we go. There they are. As with all my Book Nooks, you can fold it flat. It comes with a mailing label, no envelope because it was too big for me to get on my sheets. And you can fold this thing flat like this for mailing. So there you go. So if you want to go ahead and make your Book Nook in the traditional way using one of these, it's all there for you, including the little pocket that you need. If you want to have a go with these, then do so. They absolutely thrill me. I really like them, and you can just pop them in. Like I say, I'm just using 3 in this one, and it's plenty to illuminate the scene. So come with me and let's see how we went. So here are all my bits and bobs cut out. I'm on 250 grams throughout. Now, if you've made one of my Book Nooks before, you won't need a video. And I don't really need to make this one because they're all made in the same way. But I'm making this one for the photos anyway, so I thought I might as well. I haven't reverse printed any of mine. You don't see much of the reverse when the thing's complete. If you do want to reverse print, you get this paper here in the kit, so you can go ahead and reverse print all of your pages with that if you want to. Right, let's have a quick look at the pieces for the kit. We've got these pieces. I've cut with a Cricut machine. You can cut by hand, and a thing to note if you're cutting by hand, I've put a fine pinky cream coloured line all the way around the fiddly bits to make it easier for you to cut by hand, so you don't have to follow these lines very, very tightly. Also, you need to score all the way up and down all of these lines here. You've got some little tabs on each of these pages, and the order of these pages is, let's get this sorted out. We've got the ribbons first, then we've got the journal, then we've got the paint palette, then we've got the let's have a look here, then we've got the sewing machine, and then we've got the tailor's dummy, and then finally we've got the back sheet. So that's the order of them. We've got 2 of these. You need 2 of those pages, and then 1 of everything else. There we go, that comes with 2 on a sheet. You also get a little tag here, you get a little word, and if you're wondering what the other page is in your kit, it's a mailing label. I haven't made an envelope for this if you wanted to mail it, because it does fold flat, because it's too big. So you can find an envelope of a suitable size, and you've got a lovely matching envelope, a matching label to pop on the front. Right, let's get going. Let's start with these pages here. Now, I've already scored all of mine, so just go ahead and make those scores into folds. So that's your spine, and then you want to do the same to all of these pages with the cutouts. You've also got the book top and the bottom, and you've got score lines to follow right the way around these edges with 4 tabs. So go ahead, score and fold all of those little tabs. And now we can begin assembling the book nook. I've got my big glue and I've got my little glue. I use Collal glue. I really like it. You can use the glue of your choice. This is alcohol based. When I'm using my small glue in my little bottle that I've decanted some into, I feel fine. When I'm using my big glue, I like to ventilate because it's it's got the smell of Sharpies or something like that because it's alcohol based. I actually like it, but good idea to ventilate. Right, so taking your spine, which is this piece here, I'm going to fold this, I'm going to turn it so that the right side is facing my tabletop. Then I'm going to take these two pieces here and I'm going to stick them like this. So glue your tabs. And stick these pieces down on top, making sure that you don't go over your folds on your little tabs because you need everything obviously to be able to close nicely. So I'll stick those on and check that out. There we are, it's looking good. Make sure everything's sitting flush and nicely and at 90 degrees to everything else, or parallel with it, whatever needs to happen. You can see I'm just a little bit out there, so I'll correct that. There we go. There's your inside. We can stick this inside piece on now. This sits at the back, so I'll get my big glue. I've got my window open. I love this glue. Some don't. But there we go. And pop our centerpiece down. I've got a little white gap there that doesn't concern me. If yours does, you can always fold it. My glue's a bit wet still, so I'm not going to force it too much. You can always fold it that way round and get some ink on there to disguise that white edge. But I am learning to embrace the white paper rather than hide it all the time, so I'm grand with that. And you need a little bit, because when that's open, when this is in its book position, you've only got a little whisker of white showing there. Right, the next thing we need to do is stick on the tab of our top and bottom pieces that resemble the pages of a closed book. So with your page that you've just assembled facing upwards and this piece facing downwards, we're going to stick one at the top and one at the bottom. So glue on one of your tabs. And stick that in place. Like that. And the same at the bottom. Oh, I forgot to mention, this piece here does come with little tabs on the side. Trim those off, it's a design error on my part. So glue along one of the long tabs here and pop this one on the bottom, making sure that you can still fold it nicely. There we go, that looks great, and now we can start working on all of these pieces. So making sure we've got all our pieces in order, so that's ribbons, journal, paint, sewing machine, mannequin, in that order there. We're going to start at the front, and I'm going to take my first piece, This can actually go around the front. That might be a better idea. We'll do this one like this. So yeah, flip this one over and then the right hand tab. Glue the reverse. Pop it underneath. Make sure everything is square and flush and gorgeous. Glue that down, making sure we can fold it nicely. There we are. And make sure it's all butted up. There we go. Looks lovely. The second one is our journal. And I think we'll do this way. So with your tab folded, there are a couple of ways to do it, but let's do it this way. Maybe not gluing on your actual work is a good idea. But I'm either confident or foolish, or a bit of both. And then take this piece here, stick it down just this side of the line, so you're hiding this side of the line. There we are. Carefully flip that open. Do the same with the other one, the next one, which is the paint palettes. Oops. And stick that one down. Oh, this one for some reason is just a little bit shorter. Don't know what's going on there. I hope it's the same width. Yeah, we're good, we're good. Well, it's a little shorter, doesn't matter. You're not going to see that when it's all put together. Oops. There we go. That will be an error on my Cricut machine, I would imagine. But that's fine. Right, so that's that one. Make sure you're stuck down straight. And the next one is the sewing machine. Nice little seam of glue on your tab. Not on your work, on your tab. There we go. Stick this one down. This one's also a little short. Look at that. And the last one is your mannequin. So same again. I'm going to move it off my work this time. I'll probably act shot as well, but you don't need to see me running a seam of glue along this tab. We're all right. We know what we're doing, don't we, guys? There we go. Last one. Stick it down. And now we're back to the right size again. Don't know what all that's about, but it's fine, it's working lovely. There we go. And now we've got all of these pages here, like that we need to stick onto this side, and we've got a really nice, clever way of doing that, which we're going to do right now. So you want to make sure that your tabs are nicely folded and they're behaving themselves. And we're going to glue each of these tabs. And I'm going to let these go tacky before I stick this together. Now this is a little unusual in so much as I would ordinarily at this point put the lights in. If you're using string lights, and I'm going to put a link to another one of my Book Nook videos so you can see how to put those string lights in if you want to go with string lights. This one I'm not going to. I've got some little lights arriving this afternoon. They haven't arrived yet. If you want to have a go at that, have a look for balloon lights on Amazon or some similar platform. You can get little plastic ones, little white ones that you pull a little paper tab out and then they're on until either you put the little paper tab back in or they naturally diminish and you throw those away. I don't like that particularly because they're just little bits of plastic that are single use, which isn't good. So I've got some others coming that I've seen that look like little bullets, tiny little things, about 4 centimetres long by 1 centimetre wide, and you can actually turn them on and off. So I'm going to have a go at chucking a couple of those in and seeing how that works. So yeah, ordinarily this is the step. You would put your string lights in and stick them to the backs of each of these pages, but like I say, I'm not doing that, and I'm just going straight in with this one, and I'm going to make my fold. So folding the entire thing over. Oh, I've done this one wrong, look. This one I was going to glue on the inside, wasn't I? Let's see how we go. Let's see how we go. So making sure all of these pages behave themselves and they sit down flat as you glue. You can. I'm going to leave the last one out. A little bit of a fiddle because you've got to get in there. And just encourage your tabs to sit nicely so that they glue against this edge. There we go. And squish that flat. And this one I'm gluing down to the outside edge. It'll just give me a nicer finish on the outside edge, on the front edge. But it doesn't matter if you glue this one to the inside like we glued the others. I got a messy seam of glue there. I'm going to give that a little bit of a chance to grab. What I like about this collard glue as well is that it rubs off like an eraser when it's still wet like that, so it's great. There we go. Say the magic words and then open this up, and there we have our book nook all sitting beautifully. If you're lucky and everything's working in your favour, your book nook should also fold down flat the other way. Just be gentle with it at first and encourage it to sit nicely both ways. So there we go. There's our book nook, looking really, really good, but without lights in it. That's the first one I've done without lights in it. Right, our front panel now, wherever that's gone, this one here, I can just stick straight down on the front. So I'm going to cover this one, covered in glue. I'm going to stick this one, not me covered in glue, the panel's covered in glue. Stick this piece down on the front here. Dun, dun, dun. And there we have the cover of our book nook. I'm just going to check that that is all sitting beautifully. A little bit of wiggle room. And what happens, of course, now is that you've got all these layers and it's all nice and weighty and beautiful. This one we need to treat a little differently because we need to make a tuck spot for the top and the bottom to allow that tab to fold into. So there are two ways I can do it. One of them is to trim down a little bit of this here, and the other, and make an actual tuck spot where I'm gluing a little seam of glue down those edges, or I can leave a little flap at the top, and I quite like to do that. So leave in about ½ inch. Oh yeah, about ½ inch, that, isn't it? Just over ½ inch at the top, and same at the bottom. Glue the rest of the panel with my lovely big glue. And stick this piece down, making sure it's all lined up fabulously. There we go. There we are. And now you'll see that these two side flaps will tuck down inside the actual book nook, and then this long flap here will tuck down underneath that little flap that we left open like that, and that will stay shut just nicely. I took those two pieces in, took the long piece inside this little flap. I actually find this easier because you can get your fingernail underneath that little edge piece of the flap there and tease that in like that, and there is your book nook done and complete. Now, if you're using string lights, you're going to need your battery pack, so refer to another book nook video of mine where you can see how we pop that battery pack on. You do get one in this kit. Here it is. I'm not using it, so what I'm going to do, I'm not using it for a battery pack, so what I'm going to do is I am going to fold over both tabs. You could trim down if you wanted to. Fold over both tabs, and I'm going to treat this like a little pocket. I'll give it a little thumb cut, why not? And then I can make a little tag out of something or other. If I want to gift this. So there's my little thumb cut. I'll glue all of these tabs. And then I can stick my little pocket on the back like that. Whoops, a daisy. Might be easier. It would be easier to do this when it was flat, wouldn't it? I'll open it up, squish it down, and stick my pocket on without any messing about. I've got a little bit of overhang there. Let's trim that down. Make that a little steeper so it doesn't show. From the front, there we are. Line that up and stick it down, and now I've got a little pocket on the spine there. Right, there we go. I have finished. I've got a little word here that I could put. That was designed to go, well, anywhere really. I thought I might put it on the front. Could put it down here. Let's put it down here. Let's have a little bit of ink. Now, I haven't inked any of these pieces. I ink absolutely everything, and I thought I'd give it a little go, just not inking. But that little piece I just want to make a bit nice. So there we go, glue on the back of that piece. Pop it on the front there. I love that little saying, the craft room is calling and I must go. There we go. And I have finished my book nook. It looks great, doesn't it? Right, I have loads of, oh, let's stick it back together. So the top two short tabs go inside the book itself. This long tab slips underneath the little flap that we made for it. Same on the bottom, tuck that in. And now I can't wait for my little lights to arrive so I can see what that looks like. There we go. There is your book nook complete with all its lovely layers. Have fun with that one, guys. I hope you love it. If you gift it, I hope it's really, really well received. It folds flat, obviously, for mailing, like all my book nooks, and I think that's a really nice one. Great theme for us crafters. Have fun. See you soon.